Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining me today. As we move closer into the holiday season, it's a time when many of us get even more stressed. So, I wanted to share a few poses that you can easily de stress, relieve tension and tightness in your body, and start to calm your mind. So, let's begin. This pose might be a favorite to many of you, child's pose. If your knees are maybe a little sensitive, you might take a blanket and open it up over your mat so you have a little more cushion. Widen your knees a little bit if you'd like, toes can touch, and sit your hips back towards your heels. So a few options here. You might support your head on your mat or your hands or a prop. So if your head doesn't quite make it to the mat, say your hips are up, and if you put your head down, it feels like you're putting the top of your head on the mat. You might use a block. You can have your arms bent or straight. The important thing is to keep your neck neutral, comfortable, and support your head. Make sure your knees are comfortable. Find any variation that works for you. And stay here for several breaths, focusing on your breath, breathing in and out through your nose. Soften your shoulders and let your hips be heavy, sinking towards your heels. Another variation is to use your hands to support your head. You might just make fists and rest your head on your hands, or hands flat on top of each other and rest your forehead on the back of your hands. The important thing is to find where it feels really comfortable to you, so you can just relax here and invite your breath to begin to soften and lengthen, especially your exhale. So notice the length of your inhale and invite your exhale to be about 2 counts longer than your inhale. And just really soften into your shoulders and upper back. And then slowly lift your head. Make your way out of your child's pose. Bring your knees back under your hips. You can set aside your blanket if you are using it. And come all the way onto your belly. So come into a Sphinx pose. Elbows just about under your shoulders. You can press into the tops of your feet. Reach your ears away from your shoulders. Lengthen through your spine. Engage the upper back and shoulder girdle as you draw your lower ribs away from the mat. Gaze towards the top of your mat. So we'll be here for just a few breaths. Feel that engagement in your upper back and shoulder girdle. Elbows are just about under your shoulders, forearms are parallel, and press into your hands like you're trying to pull yourself forward on your mat. And then relax. Elbows out. Stack your hands and come into Makrasana. Release all effort. Forehead to the back of your hands. Relax and release. And breathe here. With each exhale, invite your body to relax and release a little bit deeper. With each exhale, imagine your body is softening and sort of spreading like water. Watching your breath. You can do soft sighs of an exhale if you would like, or just inhale and exhale through your nose. So we'll be here a few more breaths. And then inhale, lift your head, bring your hands under your shoulders. Press yourself back up into table pose. You might decide to do a few rounds of here, a couple variations. We're going to move into a downward dog. Exhale through cat. Just finding a little movement in your spine. And then come back to center. So either tuck your toes, lift your hips up and back for downward dog. Or if down dog is not accessible, you can have your hands on blocks and be in this variation. Still getting a nice stretch through the upper back and shoulders. You can bend the arms or straighten them, whichever feels best. You can have the blocks in closer if you prefer, making it more of a forward fold. So you can get into the backs of those legs a little bit. Any variation, find what feels best to you. Nice full breaths. And then lower the knees if you were in down dog. Bring yourself to a seat on your mat. And bring your legs around in front of you. So sometimes when we're feeling stressed, we're holding a lot of tension into our bodies. And twists can be great to release that. So there's lots of variations of twists. Today, let's just bend the right knee and cross the right foot over the straight left leg. Take your right hand behind you and your left hand to the outside of that right leg. Activate your left leg, sit up nice and tall, and then exhale, twist to your right. Imagine there's a hand on your upper back, gently lifting your heart and inviting a sense of more openness across your upper chest. Inhale, unwind, straighten that right leg out. You might pause for a moment, notice difference between left and right, and then bend your left knee. Cross your left foot over your right leg. Take your left hand behind you for support. Right hand to the outside of that left leg. Nice long spine. And then exhale, twist to your left. And then inhale, unwind. Straighten that left leg out. And then you might want to sit up on a blanket so that your hips are up a little higher. Bring your legs into sort of a diamond shape with the soles of your feet touching for Baddha Konasana, more like a butterfly pose. So instead of the heels being close to the hips, we'll move them out a little bit. Better for getting into the outer hips and lengthening through the spine. Take an inhale, lengthen through your spine, and then hinging from your hips, coming forward. You might just have your hands out in front of you. You might hold your feet or your ankles, or you can use your blocks, maybe stacking them in a certain way so that you can support your head. So you might have your hands sort of holding the block, at least the top one, so that you can angle it so it feels more comfortable. But just make sure you're not straining to go forward further than feels good to you. Supporting the head can be very calming as long as you're not forcing yourself to get into that position. So find what works best for you. And then soften your shoulders. So you're still supporting yourself with either your hands or your arms in some way. So the neck should feel comfortable. You might close your eyes. So as you close your eyes, you might breathe in and out through your nose and lengthen your exhale. Continue to breathe here. Inhale and exhale through your nose. Soften your shoulders. As you inhale, you might think of lengthening through your spine. And as you exhale, simply softening and releasing into the shape. And then slowly, on your next inhale, make your way back up and pause. Notice sensation. Set your blocks aside. So this was just a brief practice to sort of de-stress, calm the nervous system. If you would like to do a brief shavasana, feel free to do so. But sometimes these poses are all you need just to have a little bit of a yoga break, soothe your nervous system, and release some of that stress. Thank you so much for joining me today. Have a beautiful rest of your day or evening. And remember to always practice self-care. Thank you. If you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already done so. Thanks, everyone. I look forward to seeing you next time on the mat.